Bonjour à tous, hi everyone, c'est Elise du français avec Elise. Aujourd'hui, on va regarder le masculin et le féminin du nom. Today we're going to look at the masculine and the feminine of the noun. And I know like many students, especially like the native English speakers, are very stressed about that because they have a hard time understanding that everything is gendered, like all nouns are gendered in French. I get it. It's really scary, but we're going to learn about it today and probably next sessions. And then we'll move to a different grammar point. I don't want you to be stressed because everything is figuratable, okay? We can figure out everything in life. So let's get started. Le programme, donc on va introduire le nom et les types de noms, regarder la règle générale de la formation du féminin, on va regarder les règles autour de l'absence de modification de prononciation, on va regarder les mots en fait où il y aura une modification de prononciation, les formes irrégulières et ensuite un exercice pratique. So the program, we're going to review the noun, the type of nouns, we're going to introduce the general rule, we're going to look at the cases or more like the circumstances explaining why sometimes the pronunciation doesn't change and then why sometimes the pronunciation does change. Then we're going to look at the irregular form and finally we'll do a quick exercise, okay? I'm going to, really try to move forward and not make a long class. Donc le nom. Le nom est un mot qui désigne un être animé ou un objet inanimé, donc un objet, un concept, un sentiment. Un être animé, c'est une personne ou un animal. En français, chaque nom, each noun, peut être masculin ou féminin, singulier ou pluriel, concret ou abstrait, commun ou propre, comptable ou non comptable. Aujourd'hui, nous allons nous concentrer sur la formation du féminin des noms animés. A noun is a word that designates an animated being, such as a person or an animal, an inanimated object, like a thing, a concept, an idea, a feeling, etc. In French, each noun can be masculine or feminine, singular or plural, concrete or abstract, common or proper, and countable or non-countable. And today we are going to focus on the feminine of animated nouns. So how do we make a feminine form? Ok, donc la règle générale, the general rule. Pour créer la forme féminine d'un nom, il faut simplement ajouter le « e » à la fin du nom masculin. Un employé devient une employée. Un enseignant devient une enseignante. Un ami devient une amie. To create the feminine form of a word, we just add a e to the masculine form. Un employé, une employée, an employee. Un enseignant, une enseignante, a teacher. Un ami, une amie, a friend. Now, I put a large warning sign. Tous les noms qui se terminent par « e » ne sont pas forcément féminins. All words ending with a e are not feminine. This is something that my students that are native English speakers, when they've been learning French in their home country, there is like kind of a confusion because there are words ending with a e and they're masculine. Un psychologue, une psychologue. Un ministre, une ministre. Un stagiaire, une stagiaire, and so on and so forth. So when you have a word ending with a e, I really don't want your brain to make like, oh, feminine. It would be more accurate to watch at the article or the adjectives just to make sure. We will look at the feminine of adjectives at a later stage as well. Okay, let's move on. Donc, avec certaines terminaisons, l'ajout du « e » ne va pas modifier la prononciation. With some endings, the addition of the e will not impact the pronunciation, such as the letter e, i, u, l. Why? Because the e is silent in French at the end of a word. So when you add it to a vowel, then it's just silent, or to a L, then it's just silent. So, un employé, une employée, un allié, une alliée, un marié, une mariée, un ami, une amie, un ennemi, une ennemie, un inconnu, une inconnue, un espagnol, une espagnole. It doesn't change anything, okay? Again, when we hear it, they sound the same. So we must pay attention between un et une. That's going to cue us about whether it's masculine or feminine for such words. Okay, let's move on, because now we start to make it more complicated. So we've been learning last time about the silent consonant, right? Why are words ending with D, T's, S's, when it's ending with a R, why is it that it's silent? Or why does it change the pronunciation of certain words? Now, if you remember, we've seen like how to split syllables, right? We split a syllable after a vowel, between a vowel and a consonant, right? And when you have two consonants, you split after in the middle. If you have three consonants, you split after the second one, except when you have a double consonant, okay? So when you have un marchand, when we pronounce it, we read M-A-R, we split at here, R. C-H-A-N, A-N together within the same syllable make the sound en, and then the D is there, doesn't have a best friend vowel, gets dropped. So, marchand. But then when we add the E, what does it do? It gives a vowel to the D. So now the D is no longer attached to the previous syllable, it's its own syllable. So it will be marchand. And now the D gets pronounced. And that's why when we add the E, we get to pronounce the D. Un marchand, une marchande. Same thing with the T's. Un passant, une passante. We will split here. P-A-S in the middle of the double S's and S-A-N together. We should split between the N and the T. The T doesn't have a vowel best friend, gets added to the previous syllable, but is not pronounced. Un passant. Same thing with anglais et anglaise. So passante, désolé. Une passante, same thing at the beginning, P-A-S, we split here. Now, we have A and T, we split in the middle, pas S-A-N together, A-N together, en, passant, and then T-E, T as a best friend vowel, is get pronounced. Passante, une passante. So the pronunciation changed because we added E, it's creating a new syllable. And it's the same with the word ending in E. A-I together is making the A-I together in the same syllable makes the sound E. Anglais, we add the E, anglaise, because the S now has a best friend vowel. Oie, un grenoblois, une grenobloise. A word maybe you're more familiar with is un bourgeois, une bourgeoise. And finally, the word in E or IE, it's the same thing. We have a little, specificity, which is the accent grave, which is the sound E. Boulanger will become boulangère. So the E and the R together within the same syllable make the sound E. We split them R. Okay? French. So one of the great thing about French, one of the bad thing about French is like it looks like it has a lot of exceptions. The great thing about French is like many of those exceptions, they're not exception. They're just like we have another rule that would explain why is it like that. So why is it that we drop D, T's, S? It's because we've seen it before, the split of the syllable. Why is it that when you add the E now, all of a sudden, we say those D, T, S, etc.? It's because we add the E, create a new syllable, and so it modifies the pronunciation. And for me, it brings me great comfort when I can explain something when you ask me questions. So the masculine word ending with D, T, S's, E, wa, et ie, it will create a new syllable, okay? Now, we have a little magical thing, la dénasalisation au féminin, denasalization in the feminine form. It's a very long word that I have to say many times, and I had to train myself to pronounce it because I never pronounced that in my real life, except when I teach French. So denasalization, I can even say it in English. Wonderful. So, la dénasalisation au féminin. Alors, encore une fois, on va voir un changement de prononciation. Donc, un chien, a dog, une chienne, a female dog. Un champion, a champion, une championne, a woman champion. Un malin, une maline, a conniving person. Un écrivain, une écrivaine. Un Catalan, une Catalane. Alors, why, oh, why? And it's exactly the same reason as before. We've learned about how we split syllables when we read. And when we read, we split where? In between a vowel and a consonant, right? So, chien, we have CH, which is one letter. I, E stays together, and N should be all alone. Cannot be alone because it doesn't have a vowel. Stay with the rest. And now it says chien. The I and the N together, I-E-N, is going to make the sound ien, okay? Now, it's the same, champion, championne. We will split between the M and the P, in between the two consonants. A-M together makes the sound en, and O-N makes the sound on. Now, when we add the E, we're also going to double the consonant. We're going to add C-H-A-M-P, split in the middle, P-I-O-N together, and E together, championne. Okay? Malin, maline, same thing. M-A, split, lin, I-N together in the same syllable, malin. But we will read maline, M-A, split, L-I, split, and E together, maline. So that's how it works. Écrivain, écrivaine. Écrivain, écrivaine. So when you have A-I-N, it's even more difficult because A-I-N makes un. So écrit, split, vin. But une écrivaine, so écrivaine. So A-I together, it still makes the sound E. It doesn't make the sound I. Écrivaine. All right? Catalan, catalane, en, an. All right? Good. I think we said everything. All right. Now, we started to get into the peculiar cases. So here we have cases where the words are fairly similar. The radical, the base, we've seen the radical when we looked at conjugating, right? So the base of the word are similar or the same. And it's just like a few things at end. So the word in er et euse. Le suffixe er, the suffix er, c'est un suffixe qui représente une personne qui fait une action. So the suffix er represents a person doing an action. So un voleur becomes une voleuse. Voleur, c'est une personne qui vole. Okay? A person that steals is un voleur. Danseur, danseuse, une personne qui danse et une femme qui danse, etc., etc. Certaines fois, les mots qui se terminent en ter, donc E-U-R, but ter, deviennent tris. The word in ter becomes tris. Les mots qui finissent en F deviennent ve, veuf, veuve. Okay? The F become VE. Certains mots en deviennent S. Docteur, doctoresse. Enchanteur, enchanteresse. Okay? Finalement, certains mots qui terminent avec un E, et effectivement, j'avais dit plus tôt, il y a des mots masculins qui terminent avec un E, un comte, une comtesse, un maître, une maîtresse. Okay? Et donc, ils prennent S au féminin. They take S in the feminine form. Now, the ter, is very confusing because they are very alike. So, if you want to memorize it, just know that most of the time it's going to et euse is the default mode. Now, ris, you need the letter T. It's always going to be word with ter, tris. Unfortunately, we have the form s, and this is more or less obsolete. It's for like old-timey words that you're not going to use very, very often, but just know it exists. Donc, les mots en sont assez difficiles, mais une manière de mémoriser est que le mode défaut, c'est vraiment euse, et tris nécessite la lettre T, et finalement, s, il y a certains mots qui ont cette forme, mais c'est plus ou moins obsolète. OK? Now, il y a des irréguliers. You have irregular forms. I can't explain those ones. They are just how they are, and we must appreciate them. Donc, il y a certains mots qui conservent le même radical. Some words are keeping the same radical. Donc, un duc, une duchesse, un jumeau, une jumelle, un compagnon, une compagne. Oh, I forgot N over here. Okay, sorry about that. Donc, un compagnon, une compagne, un partner, un dieu, une déesse, a god, a goddess, un amoureux, une amoureuse, a lover. This is like not an affair partner, it's someone that you love. Un jaloux, une jalouse, un vieux, une vieille, un fou, une folle, un fils, une fille. OK? Finalement, nous avons les mots qui sont complètement irréguliers. Donc, un homme, une femme, a man, a woman, un père, une mère, a father, a mother, un oncle, une tante, un uncle, an aunt, un cheval, une jument, a horse, a mare, un bœuf, une génisse, a cow and a young female cow, un taureau, une vache, a bull and an older cow. And finally, wouldn't be French without something completely insane, which is that after learning that everything is masculine or feminine, we're going to learn that some nouns that represent people or animals don't have a single gender. Yes, why? I'm asking myself that every day. Donc, un témoin is a witness, is always masculine. So we would say un témoin femme ou something like that. Une victime, a victim is always feminine. We'll say une victime homme ou une victime masculine, quelque chose comme ça. Un perroquet mâle, un perroquet femelle, a female or a male parrot, that's what we would say. Un animal, une girafe, une panthère, un requin, une souris. Those are words that have only one gender, and they don't really respect the rule that we have been setting since the beginning. So, sorry about that. Enfin, nous allons faire un exercice. Donc ça va être trouver la forme féminine pour la première partie et trouver la forme masculine pour la deuxième partie. Donc, un participant, un avocat, un juge, un élève, un chat, un cuisinier, un policier, un portugais. Le féminin vers le masculin, on aura une marquise, une pharmacienne, une analyste, une professeure, une voleuse, une impératrice, une mexicaine et un grec. Et une grecque, désolée. OK, donc on va corriger maintenant. Et maintenant, la correction. Donc, le masculin au féminin, on a un participant, une participante, un avocat, une avocate, un juge, une juge, un élève, une élève, un chat, une chatte, un cuisinier, une cuisinière, un policier, une policière, un portugais, une portugaise. Le féminin au masculin, on aura une marquise, un marquis, une pharmacienne, un pharmacien, une analyste, un analyste, une professeure, un professeur, une voleuse, un voleur, une impératrice, un empereur, une mexicaine, un mexicain et un grec, une grecque, un grec. OK, donc c'est tout pour nous pour aujourd'hui. That's it for us for today. I hope the class is not too long because I'm trying to shorten down the classes. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you have a lovely weekend. Bye bye. Merci beaucoup et je vous souhaite un bon week-end. Au revoir. Bye.